Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Reality Tea with Tammy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're gonna get into this episode. I think this is my favorite episode of the season so far. Like, it was so good. My notes are so long, and we're just gonna get into it. So the first is cold truths and rejection. So Ace shuts down Amaya. He tells Nick he's over Amaya. He's like, I don't really get any sense of vibes from her. Why would I want to move to you when you're doing all that? Mind you, you know exactly what you did, picking that girl, telling her that she cannot talk to you, she cannot speak to you, she cannot call you babe. You literally gave her restrictions after you picked her over the girl that you've been chasing over in the villa. Like, how else was she supposed to feel but be upset? Now tell me, Ace. Anyways, so he really thought he was gonna fumble. He think he was gonna humble Shelly, and Shelly humbled his ass back immediately. She played her cool while still showing that she's in control, and that is queen behavior. Okay, Amaya confides in Hannah, and she basically tells her that even though Ace has basically put her on police patrol, that he's still her number one. Now, Amaya girl, how? And then later in the episode, she said, I want me some toxic love. And that's all I needed to know. She likes that mess. And Ace said it in the episode before. He said, when you give them that kind of boundary, they want you more. So he know the game. He know what to do. And it's working because now she's saying she wants him more. And I'm like, literally blink twice if you need help. The delusion is delusioning, okay? Then Alandria and Jeremiah talk about Huda is having a kid, and Alandria basically gives him some advice that whenever you are dealing with, she dealt with someone that had a child, and basically that just means your partner and they will always have access to your partner, and that's something that you don't really have any control of because there'll be parts of their life that they don't want you to be a part of, and there's not much you can do. So then Shelly and Austin check in. She basically reassures him and tells him that I like you. I really like where this is going. She's lying, but we stand because Austin is a really sweet boy in the house with his views aside, which is why we don't care about him. But I do like the way he he kind of like, I wouldn't say he's done too much for Shelly, but he's not being an asshole to her the way that Ace is moving with women in the house. So I don't really have too much to hate on him in terms of what I'm seeing on my TV screen. But Shelly does not like that man, and let's just keep it a buck, okay? Yeah, so then we have Jeremiah and Huda, and she asked him if they're closed off. He basically, with his body language and his words, tells her no, but she's like, we're moving like we're already married in this villa. So what else do you want? And to be honest, I get where Huda is coming from here, but constantly applying that pressure to him to close off should tell you all you need to know. You need to play it cool. Go and take some lessons from Chelly on how to play it cool. Asking a man if you're closed off every day, saying he should claim you, is only gonna make him justified in what he's about to do to you for having that child. He says no, with his body language, his face, he's like, it's not like I'm pursuing anyone right now. But to be fair, his actions have shown that he's closed off. I think what she's looking for is for him to commit to her long term, but I don't think he wants to do that. And after that baby news, the scamming, he wanted to scam with Huda. He cannot scam no more. The mask is slipping, okay? Then she offers him to shower together, which is that scene was very indicative of when you feel like you're losing control and you think what you're gonna give up from yourself will get you back what you want, which is Huda wants to be closed off with him. She thinks, oh, showering is an emotional thing they can do, which is basically them having intercourse, and he says no, they're not. He declines, and that just speaks volumes. To be honest, it was weird for her to ask, and even him saying no, and the whole conversation was awkward as hell. Okay. Then we have Ace, and this is at night. It's bedtime, and Ace basically goes over to give Shelly a hug, and Amaya's watching, Austin's watching, and then Ace gets back into bed, and Amaya says, "You're not gonna give me a hug," and Ace was like, "No, respectfully." When I tell you Menace is Ace, he is a menace. Ace the Menace, okay? Like, and she's like, "Oh, okay, nice." Next thing you know, it's in the morning. Ace plans a date with the help from Nick. He says he wants to do a yoga session. Nick's like, I've never done a yoga session before, so we're about to be doing nonsense. But you know, Nick is there for his boys, so he's like, I got you. Then Austin asks him, hey, what's going on? He's like, I don't know who the date is for, but someone's finding a date for somebody special. And then as this is going on, Shelly's making breakfast for Austin, and then Ace comes up to her and tells her, hey, do you want, I want to do a yoga date with you this morning. And she basically stops making breakfast and goes to change. But only does she know that Amaya has flame for her this morning. So Amaya confronts Shelly in front of the girls. She's like, we could do this in front of everybody. I do not care. And see, you know what? I'm here for the mess. I don't really like the way she stepped up to Shelly now, but I'm Team Amaya and I am Team Mess, okay? She basically tells her that I thought you were my girl, and apparently they've liked each other's pictures online, so I feel like she feels some type of slight loyalty from her, and that I've poured my heart out to you, and it feels like you're just keeping this information in your back pocket so that you could get to Ace eventually. And then Shelly is like, what? Hold on. How are you blaming me? It was basically misdirected anger from Amaya. She can give that vim to Ace, at least not yet. So she's redirecting it to Chelly. And Chelly is like, this is not my fault. And like, she wouldn't even let her speak. Even Hannah was like, oh my, please, please. And then she basically said, fine, you can have him in the end. But it's like, he was never yours to be given up anyways. But so then we get Olandria. She's basically talking to Ace, and Ace is like, what's going on? She's like, you need to clear up your ish because you're causing confusion. You just need to be very clear about how you feel about what. And that's basically all she said to him. He basically says, all right, no problem. And then Taylor then says to Nick that he's still not attracted to Olandria. And I'm just like, get the boys off the island. Like my favorite podcast on YouTube will say, get the boys off the island. Like, what is going on here? Please, get this man out of my villa immediately. Then Shelly tells Austin about the confrontation. And this is what I really do, like, connect with Austin. He really kind of understands Shelly when he was like, she's not a chaser. He basically said, you're not really a drama person. I know that's not you. Like, he does speak very highly of her, which I really do like. We don't really like him now, but we're gonna give him his twos, okay? And she basically says she doesn't want to do all this dramatic stuff, and she's just over it. And Austin backs her pretty much. Ace and Amaya have a confrontation. Ace starts off this conversation basically saying, we're gonna talk like a father talking to their child. You're gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But low-key, I get why he has to do it because she does get very heated. She doesn't listen before she speaks. So he basically tells her, you speak, I speak, and then we're gonna sort this out. Oh, Amaya heard none of that. She goes off on him. You said this, and you made me feel like this. And then when he starts speaking, she interrupts him. She's like, you said a blank statement. You said a blank statement. That's not what you meant. And then you get the head bob, and then you get, oh my God, like they put. When I tell you this scene had me rolling on the floor, I said, oh, okay. Someone said, is this Love and Hip Hop or is this Love Island? And to be honest, I'm here for both. And then he basically tells her that he doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. She said, I don't want anything to do with you either. This man literally does a dance after they end things. That's why we're going to be calling Ace the Menace from now on, okay? Jeremiah confides in Nick. He basically tells him that he's kind of over Huda and the mask is slipping. The mask is slipping. He wanted to scam his way to 100K red carpet AMC BET awards. But no. That baby. But what about that baby though? Anyone that watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, what about that baby though? That's all that keeps ringing in his head. And he tells Nick, I don't really like the way she talks to me, and how she basically says, how you're doing great, but she talks to me like I'm her child. I said, oh, not child now. Very convenient. Very convenient of you to say that. And Nick says, well, this is you guys' first tip. And he's like, yeah. Once we get over this, we'll be fine. But the first part of that sentence was giving, I need a way out. And then he kind of readjusted and said, yeah, we'll be okay. Ace tells Alondria that he talks about Chelly and everything. And then Alondra basically advises Ace to apply pressure, like go get your girl, go talk to her. Mind you, at the same time, she's doing yoga sessions with Austin, and yeah, she was like, yeah, you could go get. How long have they been down there for? He's like, 5 seconds or 5 minutes or something. He's like, yeah, you could go get him. So he goes and walks in front of Austin and Charlie. I know Austin is fuming on the inside. He's like, yeah, can we have a chat? And then they go have a chat, and she's basically telling him that break down your walls. Like you're very closed off and you don't really seem like you want to open up. So how are we going to connect? And he was like, okay, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. And at the same time, Austin goes and speaks to Alandria and she encourages him to apply pressure to Shelly as well. And I just love the way Alandria is like, yeah, girl, though that's my girl, you guys are going to chase. I love that because even when earlier in the season, Ace came and was like, hey, come holla at me. She's like, no, come get your girl. Like, Alandra is a city Southern belle. Like she just wants to be treated with chivalry, respect, romance. So she told those two men, go fight for Shelly, okay? As they should. And then we get to the challenge, the Pucker Prize. So we're just gonna go through the highlights. We have a steamy Ace and Charlie kiss. First it was pie, then they ended up kissing, and Austin's like, "Do we look like that when when she isn't? We haven't even kissed like that." And he's like, low-key upset. But have you put in the work? Are you grafting her? Where's the breakfast? Where's the date nights? I need Austin to step up his game if he wants to be pouting about Ace and Charlie. Let's just be. And mind you, you kissed Amaya. We still haven't gone to that. I don't know if the villain knows about this. Then Charlie and Hannah kiss, and mind you, this was a pie, but they ended up kissing, and I was like, Charlie, look out for your girl now. And then we have Austin and Amaya basically collecting the worst, who's a player, does too much. And yeah, so and then we also have Charlie and Sierra have a steamy kiss. Well, the way Sierra just threw that thing, like, yeah, I'm getting a kiss with Charlie today. Okay, like all the Twitter Cieli stands, I know they were living. Okay, I know they were up. Then we get the aftermath of the conversations, and the summary of this is that the boys basically put doubt in Jeremiah. Said they don't really believe Huda likes him 100%. But hold on a second. The realest scammer out of these two is Jeremiah. Because Huda has gone down with the ship. She's 10 feet under, okay? In that ocean. Mind you, Jeremiah is the one that's doing Higgy Haga, thinking twice. So for the boys to say they don't think she really likes him, I think I don't know what they're seeing, but what from we're seeing, she's 10 toes down for that man. Okay? And Jeremiah is a weak-minded. He's a boy. He's a child. Little things like he goes with the wind. His own opinion doesn't matter if somebody else he respects says something otherwise. And you can see the gears in his head turning. Then Huda check, and then the girls have a conversation, and Huda, the highlight of this, Amaya was like, what does it mean when you're doing too much? She just talks and talks over people. It actually starting to grate me a little bit. And then Huda was like, yeah, it was between you and Ace, and I didn't want to I didn't want to pie you, so that kind of thing. And then Ace and Huda have a conversation, and I'm telling you, this guy is so butthurt he was telling the guys how, oh, she feels like she's not being honest with her answers. Ace, you have been plotting against these people since the beginning of episode 1. So now they give you one lick back and your butt hurt. I'm telling you guys, he wants Huda. For a man to be this bothered by a woman and the things that she does speaks volumes. So they ended up having a conversation and she's apologizing. Mind you, Huda says anything to please everybody. And I ain't like Ace clocked her tea with that one. He did clock her tea. She don't be saying the truth the way she want to say. Because why would you tell Amaya that it was between Ace and Amaya and that you wanted to pie Ace? Then you have a conversation with Ace and you're like, oh, it's between you and Amaya. And I don't want Amaya to come for me. Which one is it? Two-faced. And then he's like, then he says in his confessional, if she does that again, or else, or some dumb ish like that. I'm like, Ace, you need to watch the way you speak to women because it's quite concerning. He's the type of guy that if he doesn't find you attractive, or not that he doesn't find you attractive, he doesn't like what you say, he's gonna be mean to you, or he wants to get at you. Like, I don't really respect that. Anyways, so then they're all sitting around, and then Huda walks up to Jeremiah at the fire pit, And he basically like gives her the coldest shoulder. His body language speaks volume. Jeremiah is a child. She's like, what's wrong? He does like this with two thumbs up. I said, oh. I said, oh. Now, sir, what's going on? Then she goes and asks everybody. Mind you, she goes and asks the terrorizer of her relationship, Nick, why is Jeremiah mad at me? First of all, that is such a like kindergarten way of approaching it. It's like, why would you go ask other people in front of everybody what's going on? Like, that just made me very uncomfortable because I'm like, you should ask, hey, can we go for a chat? Or you know what I mean? Like, speak to one of the girls to go to the guys. Mind you, you don't even know that that's the guy that caused all this trouble, Nick. And he's like, I don't know. Then she tells him, let's go have a chat. They're having a chat. He's struggling to tell her what the boy says. So he finally says it. And he's like, yeah, the boys don't really think you like me 100%. And then at the same time, Austin is like, oh, they was like, what's going on over there? It looks heated. And he's like, yo, they got in his head. And it's like, what? Austin be clocked in. Austin be clocked in just a little bit, just a little bit. And then we see tomorrow night that Ace is licking off some pie off Chelly's shirt and chest. And I'm already seeing Chelly getting dragged on Twitter. Free my girl. Free my girl. Okay? Thank you guys. Hope to see you at the next episode. Bye.